doing a review and how to create this Artful Minds sand wax kit. I got this for Christmas and I'm really excited to see what's all inside of it and what exactly I'm supposed to do. So let's get started. So after figuring out how to open up the box, I have opened it and it looks like I have instructions, which are generally a good idea. I have my sand waxes. It looks like I have white, black, bluey, navy, yellow, and red, and the red is been staining my hands, so that's not so good. Got some cardboard, which is also stained red, so that's garbage. And I got 3 jars that came in the kit. I got my wicks, which is important to actually have the candle, you know, light up and be a candle. Otherwise it's just a jar of wax, and some tacky wax. So, I also got 3 skewers that aren't sharp, which is probably for the better. And that's all that came in here, despite a lot more cardboard that is in here. It's quite heavy. So let's read the instructions. Warning, do not microwave, never leave hot wax lighted or candle unattained, and keep away from children, pets, and out of drafts. When burning lighted candles, place in a heat-resistant dish, plate, and trim wick 1/8 to 1/4 inch before each use. For best results, do not exceed 300 degrees Fahrenheit when melting wax. If wax catches fire, extinguish with baking soda or smother with lid. Never use water as it will cause explosion. Never use water-based dyes or fragrances when using wax. I'm going to try not to blow up my crafter. It's basically what I learned from that. Don't blow up my crafter. 1. Prepare your work area by covering with newspaper or cardboard to protect the surface from waste and spillage. So I'm going to get some paper and put some paper on my work surface. So I have prepped my work area and I just put some old goose paper on it just to protect that from any wax, waste, or spillage, as this said. Prepare glass. Thoroughly clean glasses of any dirt or dust. I think that I should use rubbing alcohol because that removes a lot of dirt and dust from things. So I'm going to spray those with some rubbing alcohol and wipe them with a rag, and then we will continue. So I have thoroughly cleaned my glass of any dirt or dust. I guess you could use a sink or soap or whatever, but I used rubbing alcohol. I had it handy in my craft room, so I think that that's practical. So we're supposed to place a small amount of tacky wax on bottom of wick clip. I am going to use a pair of scissors and cut off a small piece, which is pretty easy. Maybe a little more. Okay. And I'm going to knead it just a little bit between my fingers so that it's more pliable, maybe. And I'm going to get out my wicks. And straight. Wow, that's long. It's really long. And put it on bottom of wick clip and center the wick clip in the glass container. Okay. And press to bottom center of the glass. So it says, using the exposed wick left at the top of the mold, wrap it around the wooden dowel and lay it across the opening of the mold. So I think I've seen different candle making videos, never for this, but I'm taking that as I'm supposed to wrap this around tightly all the way down until it's tight in the middle. That looks straight. So I'm going to do that till. So I have wound all 3 of these. I know most people just use them to hold it, but I really want mine to be sturdy because I've never done this before and don't want to mess up too badly. So I'm going to pour sand wax. Pour sand wax into container, mixing different colors to create your own colorful design. Gently tap glass container on a hard surface to help the wax pellets settle. So thankfully I don't have to use a microwave because I don't have one of those in my craft room. And I'm going to make a white and blue one for my craft room. And I'm going to use this little container that I have right here to mix in. So I'm going to start by adding just some white to my jar. Try and get that a good amount there so that I can actually see it. And then I'm supposed to smack it on my desk. It looks pretty cool. I like that. So now I'm going to mix some white and blue together. So I'm just going to mix together some of my white and blue with a spoon. I could have used my hands, but my hands are naturally very hot and I don't really want to melt it. I don't think that would be very good. And I'm going to add in a bit more white, I think. No, a bit more blue. Add in a bit more blue and see what happens. This doesn't really mix, you're still going to see like the little particles of each color. I really wish that they gave this to you with dyes so that you could dye it yourself. Because now I really can only use the white, blue, yellow, and red. So I really don't know how I'm supposed to dye it or what dyes would be safe to use. So I have that mixed. I think that's good right there. And I'm going to pour that into my candle, flatten that a bit, and tap it on my work surface. And that is looking really cute. I really like that. And this is kind of messy. I have little pellets everywhere. I'm going to pour in some pure blue now, I guess. You can't really like mix it too much or you're going to mix in all the colors together. It still looks good. I really like this. And I think I'm just going to finish off with some white pellets. And trim wick to 1/4 inch above surface of wax and then you're done. So I feel as though this is not very sturdy or anything like that. And if I tip this, they're gonna fall out. So I'm gonna try and just use my spoon here to press them down a bit more. So that they're in there a little bit better than just being tapped down. And again, I'm going to tap it on my surface. And I'm going to use my scissors again and trim my wick. So if you notice on the box, they did one here with some really cool angles in it. So I kind of want to try this, and I'm going to show you my best attempts of how to create these cute angles. So I am going to, in these little containers that I have, I'm just going to pre-pour some of my wax pellet-y things so that I don't have to deal with Ziploc baggies when, if I tip it, my wax is probably not going to stay even. So I'm going to use some, I'm going to try and do some red, yellow, and white. And these happen to be the exact colors they have on the package. So in here I'm going to start up by adding in some red, holding my jar on an angle, and level that out. So I have this right here on an angle in the jar. And then I'm going to very carefully pour in, I'll do some white on top of that. and then I'm going to turn it upright and tap that even. And as you can see, we have that red angle in there. And I'm just going to finish it off with some yellow. So that is a lot easier than I thought it would be. And again, I'm going to tap that on my desk. I'm going to remove, well, not going to remove it, I'm just going to release my wick from my skewer. I'm going to trim it. You will definitely need sharp scissors. I'm experiencing that right now. And I really think that it did help to use my spoon to press down that wax. And that turned out a lot better than I thought it would. So I'm going to do one more jar. And I really think that they gave you more wax pellets than you actually need for this, because I've done 3 and I still have quite a bit left. So I think I might actually go out to my local dollar store and get some jars so I can create some more of these, because they're super cute and the jars like this are 2 for $1. So you're going to be able to use these up and not spend that much. So as you can see, we have a lot of sanding waxes left after we did this. There's definitely enough to make some more candles. If you have wicks with the clips, I believe they're called, you can do this. I think I'm just going to try and hot glue the wick to the bottom. We don't normally use that much of candles for us to burn all the way to the bottom, so I don't think that's going to be too big of a concern. I'll use hot glue because I know that heat's not going to explode that like E6000 glue. That wouldn't be good. And I know that no toxic fumes are also going to come with the hot glue. So I really like these. I wish that they gave you the proper amount of supplies. That would probably help. But I think that this is really cute. Don't tip these or you're going to let go of all of your little sandy wax bits. But I would really recommend this. It's really easy and something that you could probably do with kids. So please subscribe to my channel to see a lot of DIYs. I don't just do reviews, I do a lot of card making and different projects and DIY. So I really hope that you subscribe and like this video to show other people what this whole Artful Minds sanding wax kit is about. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.